All right, this update is brought to you by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. Aztecs, they're back in action tomorrow night versus BYU in Provo. Tip-off is at 6 p.m. there. 5:30 is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. And the Aztecs football team is back in action versus Colorado State on the road Saturday afternoon. 4 p.m. kickoff. 2 p.m. is when our coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions do apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details today. All right, Jon and Jim on a Thursday. First off, I'm already going to apologize. I'm apologizing for how my voice sounds today. And I'm apologizing for the constant coughing that I will be doing off the air. It's been a problem the last couple of days when you're sick, when you got this the mucus and the stuff in your throat, and I had a hard time yesterday. Today, Jon is obviously not here. Jon is traveling. He's on his way to Provo, Utah, to call the BYU basketball game tomorrow versus San Diego State. Because Ted is going to be here Saturday not here Saturday, but he's going to be in Colorado Springs to call Colorado State versus San Diego State. So there's a lot happening because scheduling and the overlap. So,
Ted can't be everywhere at once.
Right. And we don't have enough bodies in this place anyway, as it in the first. So we are stretched very thin here at iHeart San Diego. So Jon is off today.
We're stretched about as thin as the morning show.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's stretched very thin here. But in the meantime, today is a very special day here at iHeart San Diego and San Diego Sports 760. We do this every year. It's the Warriors Foundation Freedom Station Give-a-thon. And, if you want to donate, there's many ways to donate. You can go to warriorsfoundation.org or just call 619-578-2615. That's 619-578-2615. All donations, you've heard it in the morning. You've heard it on Darren. All these donations are going to great causes to help out wounded warriors. $5, $10, $20. Like, everybody has $5. Every donation counts. Every donation matters. And throughout the day, we'll be talking to wounded warriors. We'll be talking to the CEO. We'll get their perspective on how the Wounded Warriors Foundation has helped them in their lives and just how important it is in this town, especially in San Diego, how important this foundation is and how important donations are to Wounded Warriors. So we'll get to all that. Again, Wounded Warriors Foundation Freedom Give-a-thon. It's the warriorfoundation.org. You can go there. You can help donate. Or you can call 619-578-2615. In the meantime, got to get right to it. Another candidate for the Padres managerial job has, I guess, popped up. And I know there's been a promo that's been running on the station of Jon asking about Phil Nevin. I think this was about a week ago, Brent. And I immediately said 100% no. No way in hell, no chance Phil Nevin would come here. No chance. And the reason why is because I don't think Phil Nevin's a bad manager. I don't really know much about Phil Nevin at all. I just know he's fiery. I've heard some things from listening to Darren talk on the radio about him. But I just look at the dynamic between the manager and the general manager, and with the trust that AJ Preller has lost, it's hard to really say that any manager could fit well with Preller because we've seen his best friend not fit. We've seen one of the most respected men in baseball not fit and not be able to work with Preller. So whoever he hires, it could be Phil Nevin. It will be, for me, a wait and see. I will have to wait and see if Phil Nevin actually would work with AJ Preller. It could work. It could not work. But there's no way in hell, whoever AJ Preller hires, do I think that it's a definitive, yeah, that person's going to work with Preller. Because it hasn't worked with every type of manager that you could think of, right? The Andy Greens of the world, we have the Jace Tinglers, the Bob Melvins, the Pat Murphys, the Bud Blacks. Didn't work with any of them. So that to me is going to be fascinating to see who he chooses and the dynamic between those two. I think Phil Nevin is a fiery guy from the outside looking in. Looks like he's a guy that doesn't take any crap. I don't know if that works well with Preller. Could work, maybe not. I don't know, but it's very interesting. It's very interesting to hear Phil Nevin be considered for the Padres managerial job. So we'll get more into that. We'll get more into Phil Nevin. We'll get into more into the Padres managerial search. Juan Soto's name keeps popping up in trade rumors. But again, today, very special day here. It's the Warriors Foundation Freedom Station Give-a-thon. Again, if you want to donate, go to warriorfoundation.org. That's warriorfoundation.org. Or you can call easy 619-578-2615. And right now we're joined by Sergeant Mike Spivey. Mike, I hope I said your name right. Spivey? Is it Mike Spivey?
Actually. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks for joining us today. So first off, just tell us how important it is for donations and for people to help with Wounded Warriors and this foundation here in San Diego.
They couldn't do it without the support of people calling in and making these donations, because they just couldn't do it without people calling in.
And for you, could you just tell us, your story and how you got involved with Wounded Warriors?
So I was attached to 3-5 back in 2010 as a combat engineer, walking around point, looking for and disposing of IEDs. And after about 3 months, I missed one and got blown up, took a bunch of shrapnel to my back and my legs, ended up amputating my left arm below the elbow. And a couple months later, while I was at the hospital, I got an invite to move into the Freedom Station. But even before that, I met them at, they were handing out Christmas cards for flight homes and everything like that, getting us involved in golf and a whole bunch of other activities to get us up and out of the hospital setting. And like I said, 2011, I got an invite to move into Freedom Station 1, which I did, and went from there.
Wow, that's amazing. And for you, how has the Wounded Warriors Foundation, changed your life?
So the Warrior Foundation Freedom Station changed my life by helping me reintegrate back into society, especially missing my left arm, figuring out how to cook and clean, do dishes, do laundry, just living a normal life. And then networking, meeting a bunch of people, going out to these different sporting activities, like I said, with golf, and then surfing, and then eventually snowboarding. And then that kind of led me into what I'm doing nowadays.
And what are you doing nowadays?
I am a 2-time Paralympic snowboarder.
Wow. Okay. So I see here that you competed in the Beijing Winter Paralympics. Is that correct? 2022?
Yes.
Well, how was that experience?
It was a little different than the one in 2018 in South Korea, just because of the COVID restrictions and the lockdowns and everything like that. But it's mind blowing just getting to make it to the, that final world stage and getting to compete.
Wow, that's incredible that you've gone from where you were to now competing in the Paralympics, and you were in Beijing. For you, Sergeant, when you talk about transitioning to civilian life, how was that process for you from being at the Warriors Foundation?
It had its ups and downs. Being at the Freedom Station, like I said, I was able to transition a little bit easier than going from just the barracks into like a house on my own. Being at the Freedom Station, I still had a bunch of my Marine Corps brothers, 20, 30 feet away from me. So whenever we were dealing with stuff, especially at night, demons start creeping in your head, you can go next door and get them to, you can talk to them about everything and kind of settle everything back down. or if you are struggling with a prosthetic issue or trying to figure out how to do something in daily life, you can bounce ideas off of everybody. So it just made it that much more.
It's more easy to transition, and you have people there that can help you out. Totally.
True.
Again, if you want to help donate, call 619-578-2615, or you can go to warriorfoundation.org. Sergeant, great to talk to you. Great to hear your story and just how, the Warriors Foundation has helped you. Again, if you want to help donate, 619-578-2615, or go to the warriorfoundation.org. Sergeant Mike Spivey, thank you for joining us today, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So again, look, you heard from him there just how important this whole process is and how important the Warriors Foundation is with, people that are dealing with problems, at nighttime. They have those demons creeping in and they need help. And the Warrior Foundation is perfect to help those people out. So again, go and donate just $5, $10, $20, whatever. It doesn't matter. Anything will help. 619-578-2615, or go to warriorfoundation.org. We'll get more back into the Warrior Foundation. We'll have more guests join us live later today, the 4 o'clock hour and the 5 o'clock hour. We'll talk more about that, and we'll keep promoting that you can donate throughout the entirety of today's show until 6 p.m. warriorfoundation.org, or call 619-578-2615. All right, so getting back into the Padres here with their managerial search, and you're thinking to yourself, all right, what are the Padres waiting for? They keep, it seems like everybody's hiring a manager before the Padres, and the only teams that don't have a manager, one, Craig Counsell kind of, not say screwed the Brewers, but kind of surprised the hell out of the Brewers. And the Brewers are kind of sitting there like, okay, what the hell do we do now? The Astros, they knew that Dusty Baker was, I think, leaving. This was kind of, I think, known fact that Dusty Baker this was going to be his last year. I haven't heard much about what they're doing in Houston, but, San Diego, it was kind of a thought of AJ Preller had in his mind who he was going to have be the next manager of this team, even while Bob Melvin was still here. And it's either Ryan Flaherty or Mike Schilt. And then you get other names, the Benji Gills, the Phil Nevins, Carlos Mendoza's, even though he got hired by the Mets. And you're thinking to yourself, all right, well, maybe AJ Preller will go outside the organization. Maybe he will hire somebody else outside the organization. And I think Phil Nevin or Benji Gill, looking at it now, I wouldn't have any problem with either of those guys. I would have a lot of questions going forward. I'd have a lot of questions with, can they work together? No matter who they hire, it's always going to be a question mark. They could hire, who's the best manager in baseball right now, Brent, in your mind? Bruce Bochy?
Probably.
Okay, yeah. You even if they hired Boch, there would still be questions there. Could they work together? And to me, when you have that first question with whoever you hire as manager is, man, I hope they can work with AJ Preller. That's not a good sign. And it's hard for me at times to not understand how people don't understand that. How I don't know how you can tell somebody, and everybody feels this way. Well, I hope you can work with Preller. If that's the first thing you're saying, I hope you can work with this person. There's problems there.
That's why I feel like we're going to get stuck with Flaherty, because he's going to be the one that has the least amount of pushback.
Well, Jay Stingler had the least amount of pushback, and look what happened there. It became a revolt inside that clubhouse. So whoever they hire, it's going to be, can they work with Preller? Can that person work with Preller? Can that person get through in the clubhouse? Can that person, have a good working relationship with the stars of this team? Can Manny Machado, can he buy in? Can Fernando Tatis Jr. buy in? Can Xander Bogaerts, can he buy in? Can all of these big names buy into the new manager? Can that work? For some reason, it didn't happen this past year. For some reason, these players did not, for whatever reason, have a buy-in like it seemed like they did in 2022. Now, there was different dynamics here, but still it didn't feel like there was a buy-in now. So, will Phil Nevin be that guy to get the buy-in from the players, to work well with Preller, to be somebody that can take the analytics that is given to him and relay that down in the dugout and give that to the players? Like, I don't know. I don't think Phil Nevin's this bad manager, but I also think it's interesting that 2 of the 4 now finalist candidates, I guess you want to say, are from the Angels organization. And the Angels aren't really considered to be that great of an organization in the first place.
I think the one common denominator that I found between Benji Gill and Nevin, they're former players. None of the other guys can say that. And we haven't had a manager that used to play. So I don't know if that would have any difference. Maybe not so much with AJ, but just in just keeping the clubhouse together and just getting them motivated, knowing that,
well, Ryan Flaherty played.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. Ryan Flaherty played. Benji Gill played. Phil Nevin.
I remember Nevin and Benji Gill. I don't remember Flaherty.
Yeah, Flaherty played a lot. Flaherty played, I think, with Manny Machado in Baltimore.
Oh, well, that's probably why.
So, look, I think it's more or less, can whoever the new manager is work with AJ Preller? And that's the biggest question. Whoever they hire, that's the biggest question. I look at Phil Nevin. I don't know if I fully see it. Like, it could maybe work for a season, but I think a lot of Padres fans are sick and tired of it only working for just a season. I think Padres fans want it to work for, like, handful of years at the most. How about we start with 2? How about we start with just 2 years at working, right? 2 years. Can we just have 2 years without any drama here with the manager and Preller?
Yeah, we don't have to get married right away. We can date for a while.
Well, yeah. I just 2 years is all I ask. I think that's all Padres fans want. It's just to have a cohesive relationship, to have no drama, to have consistent winning, and it work. That's all they want. Do I think Benji Gill and Phil Nevin would work for multiple years? I don't know. Same thing with Ryan Flaherty. I don't know. And same thing with Mike Schill. I don't know.
I think a lot of it probably depends on if they win.
If they win, then yeah. But
look what easier. But
look what happened in 2022. They won, and there were still already problems. Bob Melvin was looking to try to get out after 2022, and they made the NLCS. So you can say winning cures all, and to an extent, it does.
It cures most things.
It cures most things, but the second that adversity hits and things aren't good, and the only reason why things were good is because you were winning, look what happened this year. They didn't win, and things weren't good even while they were winning. And the second they faced adversity, S hit the fan. Do I think that Phil Nevin or Benji Gill can be those 2 people potentially that could overcome all those things, could have a great relationship with AJ Preller and work great with him, and when S hits the fan, overcome it, unlike Bob Melvin and Jace Tingler could? Andy Green to a lesser extent, because he wasn't giving that Andy Green anything to work with, really. I mean, he gave him Machado and Hosmer, but other than that, team sucked. The roster was not good. But just in particular, the last 2 managers here, not really giving them much other than, hey, go out and fix it. But, we got problems here still, and I don't know what to tell you. Can they work? I don't know. But it's interesting that Phil Nevin is now, I guess, considered a finalist, right? I mean, they've interviewed him, and the other day it was reported that that you had 4 finalists, and then one of them got dropped off the board and went to the Mets. So then you had 3, and then you interviewed Phil. Okay, you potentially could interview David Ross. So then you had 5. I don't know, man. It's interesting. It's weird. It just feels weird how they've gone this long without hiring a manager yet, and the candidates are a couple guys from the Angels organization and 2 in-house, and potentially one that just got booted out the door for another guy.
And it's almost like they can't make up their mind. So they're just like, hey, Milwaukee, why don't you in Houston, you pick your guy, and then we'll just take whoever's left.
Yeah,
we'll choose from whoever's left.
We'll take the retread. I'm not saying that Benji Gill or Phil Nevin are like retreads, at all. I think that both of them. I think
no. If that's what they did, to where they just wait so long to where Milwaukee and Houston pick their manager and we get our manager last, but we still end up with either Nevin or Benji Gill, I'd take that.
Yeah, I would think I would too. I think what I want is cohesiveness. I want a manager and a general manager that work well together, that there's no drama. I don't want to see any more athletic pieces or pieces from the UT about problems or communication issues or anything. Like, if they're going to go down, they better go down together. There can't be a divide. If it felt like that, if Tingler went down, Preller was going down, but Tingler kind of, I'm not saying got thrown under the bus, but he got painted into a corner where the team revolted. The team said, yeah, we can't have this here. And Preller stayed and he hired Bob. And even from day one, it was like, I don't know if that's going to work. It didn't work. So we'll see. We'll see. And now we're just in the waiting game. It's literally just a waiting game. And by the way, the GM meetings are now over because of this random virus that's gone around. Did you hear about this, Brent?
Yeah, I saw that.
At first it was being reported that everybody had stomach issues. And I was like, oh no, they all have the bubble guts.
Bad catering.
Yeah, they all had some bad food. They all have the bubble guts. But actually, there's like a real virus going around there. And so they had to stop it short. I don't know how much the GM meetings really get accomplished. Like, I don't think you could say that GM meetings have the start of conversations that pick up at the winter meetings, right? For trades and signings with agents and everything like that. But you rarely see anything big time happen at the GM meetings. The GM meetings are kind of just like, we're going to go hang out for a week in Arizona. That's pretty much it. So they stopped that early. Unfortunately, they didn't stop it before Scott Boras spoke, but still, they had to stop that. And now we just wait. Now we're waiting. And
Tom Petty said that's the hardest part.
It is the hardest part, to wait to see who they're going to hire. And I do think if Preller was truly sold on either Flaherty or Schilt or Gill, they would have been hired by now. There's something there. Doesn't it feel that way? Doesn't it feel like if you're sold on somebody, you hire them right away? You're not, why wait?
Yeah, why risk letting someone else snatch them up?
Yeah, like Carlos Mendoza. Maybe they really were hiring Carlos Mendoza. Well, guess what? Now he went to the Mets. So you lost out on that.
I don't know, unless that was what they were thinking of. They wanted to go that route, and then he got taken off the board, and now they don't know what to do.
Maybe. But you have to have plans in place. And if you really liked Carlos Mendoza, you should have not let him leave the room without saying, okay, you're our guy. Like, if you really truly believe that, for whoever they believe, you can't let them leave the room. You're like, all right, we're done. That's our guy. You have to have conviction. And it feels like Preller's kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, I know, but this kind of reminds me of like when the Joker was talking to Two-Face. I was like, do I really look like a guy with a plan?
Preller's not like
yeah, do the Padres really seem like they have a plan sometimes?
It does not seem like they have a plan.
Our plan involves 7 shortstops. Stop.
Yeah, exactly. All right, coming up next, we have Paul Charchian, our fantasy football guru, who will join us coming up next. Also, make sure to help donate for the Wounded Warriors Foundation today. Great cause, warriorfoundation.org, or you can call 619-578-2615. Any donation will help. But coming up next, our fantasy football guru, Paul Charchian, will join us next right here on Jon Jim. Sports station. I'm here with All right, coming up next, our fantasy football guru and expert, Paul Charchian, will join it coming up next. All right, this update is brought to you by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. We'll start with baseball news. Silver Sluggers are being handed out right now, and Juan Soto has won a Silver Slugger for the Padres. Brent, did you know he's the only 900-plus OPS player on the Padres in their lineup?
I think I heard that somewhere.
I think I heard that somewhere too. Interesting. Moving over to the Aztecs, the basketball team takes on BYU tomorrow, 6 p.m. tip. Our pregame coverage starts at 5:30 right here on San Diego Sports 760. And Aztecs football back in action versus Colorado State this Saturday, 4 p.m. kick. 2 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts, again, right here on San Diego Sports 760. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions do apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details today. All right, Jon and Jim back here on a Thursday. Jon is traveling to Provo, Utah to call the Aztecs BYU game tomorrow night. So it's me and Brent for the next couple hours here until 6 p.m. And right now we're joined by our fantasy football expert, Paul Charchian, Charch of GuillotineLeagues.com. Paul, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, thanks. It's the game tonight is not terribly exciting, but for those that gamble or those that play fantasy, there's always a reason to watch, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask you. My first question is, give me one thing to watch tonight in tonight's game that could be viewed as, I have to watch because of this.
Have to watch? Wow. Okay, that's a big ask. How about this? There's a chance that Donta Foreman, the lead running back for the Bears, has a really big game, like 2-touchdown game, maybe 3-touchdown game. He's already had a 2-touchdown game just in the last couple of weeks. He's going to get almost all the work. Khalil Herbert not going to play. Carolina ranks second to last in rushing yards allowed, 120 rushing yards per game. They rank 30th in run defense by Pro Football Focus. They've already given up multiple touchdowns in 5 different games to opposing running backs. So yeah, maybe we see an explosive game tonight from Donta Foreman. So there's your angle if you need one.
Perfect. You sold me. I'm in. I'm watching just for that reason alone. Maybe. Paul Charchian joining us here, guillotineleagues.com on Jon and Jim. Paul, Josh Dobbs, what he did this past weekend was kind of incredible. It's almost something that you'll never see maybe ever again, being traded and not even practicing and taking snaps from your center, the day of the game in game for the first time and going out there and scoring 3 total touchdowns with so many backups and so many random quarterbacks going, around in the league starting. Is Josh Dobbs like a viable pickup in fantasy to potentially? I mean, you're getting Justin Jefferson back here soon, so could he be a viable starter for some teams in fantasy if you're looking for a quarterback?
He really could. Maybe not this week, so he's still super new into the system, and Vikings have the Saints. Saints are really good, maybe top 5 pass defense, so maybe not this week. But going forward, Vikings schedule is really, really favorable. And here's the thing about Dobbs that I think maybe people are missing. If I were to ask you, how many quarterbacks do you think have more rushing yards than Josh Dobbs has?
I'm gonna say I can only maybe like 2.
Lamar Jackson.
That's it.
That's it.
Wow.
Josh Dobbs is second. And in fantasy, we're here for the rushing, right? We love rushing yards, rushing touchdowns. They pile up faster than passing yards do. And, you mentioned Justin Jefferson, but also he's going to be surrounded by Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, and Kevin O'Connell's whole offense is built around magnifying the quarterback position. The Vikings throw 39 passes a game, second most in the league. And this is, the kid has just got some gamer in him. And I know there's a lot of people like Josh Dobbs sucks. Well, look, I get it. He's played with bad teams. He was on the Cardinals. He's, like 1-8 with the Cardinals. But I'm telling you, if you haven't watched him, he's the only reason they weren't getting just blown out of games like they did last week, their first game without him. Dude's a gamer. Hey, by the way, did you hear what Kevin O'Connell had to do to get the plays in for Josh Dobbs?
Yeah, he had to translate everything to Josh Dobbs and make it, easy for him because he was given plays that everyone in the huddle knew, and then he had to translate it to him.
Exactly. Yeah, you're exactly right. Which I find this fascinating. I've never heard of it before. O'Connell is sending in the play that 10 other people need, which is like, 12 zebra, brown, Omaha, 7 flank,
right.
23 left, right?
Yeah.
And then, but Josh Dobbs doesn't know what any of that means.
No.
So then Kevin O'Connell's got to spend that time before they cut the microphone at 15 seconds explaining what that means in the terms that Josh Dobbs can understand. And it worked. Unbelievable.
Yeah, hell of a coaching job this past Sunday for Kevin O'Connell, and hell of a job by Josh Dobbs. Paul Charchian joining us here on Jon and Jim, guillotineleagues.com. Paul, we talked about Jahmyr Gibbs last week. He had 2 amazing weeks, but that was without David Montgomery in the lineup, and he's returning for Detroit. So how could that affect Gibbs in the backfield, and how do you think it's going to shape out now with Gibbs kind of showing promise last couple of weeks here, but with David Montgomery returning?
Yeah, and we're forever grateful to Jahmyr Gibbs during this run without David Montgomery, in which he played a critical role in the beatdown of the Raiders that was so lopsided that it finally daggered Josh McDaniels, and he's out of this league. That's awesome. Thank you, Jahmyr Gibbs, for that. And he's an exciting new rookie. He's got dazzling moves and everything. But remember, in those 4 healthy early games for David Montgomery, he was running back 4 overall. He had 6 touchdowns in those 4 games. And this is the same offense and the same scheme that put Jamal Williams on 17 touchdowns last year and was on pace to put way more touchdowns on David Montgomery. So I still think this is David Montgomery's backfield. He's healthy now. He's practiced in full all week. And I think Montgomery's going to go right back to the roles that he had, which is the majority of the usage. Gibbs will be in more now than he was in those first few weeks, but still, we like touchdowns, and David Montgomery's a touchdown guy.
Kyler Murray is returning here for the Cardinals. One of the reasons why the Cardinals, traded away Josh Dobbs. What's the expectation for Kyler Murray? I mean, you're returning to a 1-7 team. Not much there offensively. But what do you expect from Kyler Murray there?
Well, there's two big things working against Kyler Murray as he makes his first start in 11 months. Number one, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 launches tomorrow. That is going to be a huge problem for Kyler Murray. And you got to figure he's going to have his eye off the ball, but sinking in hours. And we've been waiting a decade for the third release of Modern Warfare. So this is a big deal. Second, we know that he's always been, his fantasy value's been tied to his legs. We were just talking earlier. We love rushing quarterbacks. That's what made him like a tier 2 fantasy quarterback, where his legs. He's off on ACL. He's not going to run. And if he is, it's not going to be very much. So what do you get if you only have Kyler Murray's arm? You get 1.5 touchdown passes per game. To put a name on 1.5 touchdown passes per game, that's Derek Carr. It's a third tier fantasy quarterback. He's 242 passing yards per game. That's halfway between Sam Howell and the since benched Desmond Ridder. It's just, so there isn't, I can find guys like that at the 7-Eleven. I don't need Kyler Murray. I can go find guys just like that, 1.5 touchdowns, 242 yards on the waiver wire. So we're not starting Kyler Murray no time soon anyway, until we see a lot more success than I think he's probably going to give us.
Paul Charchian joining us here on Jon and Jim, GuillotineLeagues.com. Final one, Paul, before we let you go here. Geno Smith, he had a fantastic year last year, but this year it's not been even really close to what he put up last year. But should people still not just completely throw away Geno Smith? Is there a chance that he could potentially turn this thing around here in the later half of the season?
We got 4 good offenses on bye this week, and you're looking to try to find somebody. Geno Smith may have been dropped because it's been bad for Geno. This is the opportunity because it's Washington. This whole defense reeling right now. They've allowed the most passing touchdowns in the league, 6th most passing yards, and then they have the self-inflicted losses of Chase Young and Montez Sweat, which means 10 fewer pressures per game. In that first game without those defensive linemen last week, Washington registered 0 sacks and 1 quarterback hit. That's all. And, Geno's got those 3 good receivers, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, the first-round rookie, Jackson Smith and Jigba. And Washington has 1 sort of capable cornerback, Kendall Fuller. The rest are bad. So, yeah, this is, we got to pivot to somebody today, Geno Smith, and maybe even beyond that. Geno's got the 5th easiest schedule going forward of all passers. So, yeah, you might have another opportunity there.
All right, Paul, before we let you go, tell everybody where they can find you and where to go for all your information.
Yeah, all my player rankings available for free at guillotineleagues.com, and also you can still join a Guillotine League. Fresh new Guillotine Leagues being formed every day.
Love it. Paul Charchian. Charch, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it. We'll catch up with you next week, all right?
Sounds good. Bye-bye.
All right, Paul Charchian there of guillotineleagues.com. All right, coming up next, Juan Soto. He's a name that's been talked about a lot. Trade-wise, he just won a Silver Slugger. Would it be wise for the Padres to trade away their only Silver Slugger because they need help with the rest of their team and the rest of their roster? I'll tell you why that's a bad idea coming up next. Yeah, it is a special day here around all iHeart San Diego. The Warriors Foundation Give-a-thon. Again, if you want to donate, go to warriorfoundation.org, or you can call. Very simple. We have people standing by, ready to take your call, ready to take your donation. 619-578-2615. It's a great cause. We talked to Sergeant Mike Spivey earlier. Heard his story, how he's now competing in the Paralympics. He competed in Beijing in 2022, snowboarding. So, having the Warrior Foundation and helping these men and women, deal with the issues that they have and putting them in situations where when they enter civilian life, they can do things like Sergeant Mike Spivey did, and that is compete in an Olympics. Paralympics. I mean, it's amazing. So it all starts with the Warriors Foundation. It all starts with your help and your donations. Again, warriorfoundation.org. Or you can call 619-578-2615. All right. So just moments ago, Brent, the Silver Sluggers were handed out. I believe they're still actually being handed out. They're doing like an awards thing on MLB TV. And Juan Soto won a Silver Slugger for left field, for the outfield, I guess, right? Outfield Silver Slugger, which is now his, I believe, 4th Silver Slugger award. I think it's maybe 4. Hold on, let me check. This is Juan Soto's 4th Silver Slugger award in his career. And I saw something on Twitter. It was like, oh, this person beat out Xander Bogaerts for Silver Slugger at shortstop, and Austin Riley beat out Manny Machado for Silver Slugger at third base. Guys, okay. Xander Bogaerts and Manny Machado did not have good years.
Well, come on, Bogaerts. If you had more than 60 RBIs, you're gonna have a better season than what Bogaerts had.
I think Francisco Lindor won the Silver Slugger at shortstop. Austin Riley won the Silver Slugger at third base. No problems with that. I don't think Xander or Manny deserved it at all. So who cares? It's fine. But the Juan Soto thing is, look, there is a couple arguments going around to why the Padres should trade Juan Soto. And it's because they have so many holes that they need to trade Juan Soto because they need to fill all these holes in the roster. And then just hearing that, it just makes me upset because this never should have been the case. You never should have gotten to the case where the team has to trade Juan Soto in order to fill holes on the roster. Like, why do you think that is being talked about? Why do you think it's being said that the reason why they need to trade Juan Soto is because they need to fill the holes on their roster because of the money issues? Brent?
Well, that's what happens when you fill holes that don't need to be filled.
That's what happens also when you sign players to massive contracts in other places, knowing down the road you're going to probably be a little bit of in a crunch here to fill out your roster. If no one thought that this could be like a reason why they'd have to trade Juan Soto, that to me is like a major problem. Like, you should have known, well, if we sign Xander Bogaerts, this probably means we're going to have to trade Juan Soto to fill the rest of our holes in the team for next year.
For me, they're in this situation because it's like, oh, hey, our kitchen sink is it's leaking. Oh, okay. Do you want to get it fixed? Nah, we're going to buy some more rugs and maybe a couch. We already got like 5 rugs. No, that's okay. You can never have too many rugs. Rugs are really versatile. They can go in any room and you can do lots of
versatile.
Rugs.
They're pretty versatile.
We can use lots of rugs. Okay, but what about the sink? Oh, don't worry. I'm sure it'll stop leaking eventually.
It'll stop leaking eventually.
And then 3 years, here we are. Now we have so many damn rugs. We don't know what to do with them. And the kitchen is still and the kitchen sink is still leaking because nobody bothered to fix it.
Yeah, no, I like that. I would maybe say, yeah, the kitchen sink is leaking and you need to buy a new sink. So we need to get rid of our refrigerator. Like, what? No, you have to get like a new sink. You have to fix your sink, but you can't get rid of your refrigerator. But if the only way you can fix your sink is by getting rid of your refrigerator to get the money to fix your sink, that's how I view the Padres is the only, and this could be, if the number's correct, if the $200 million number is what they're looking at. And I read Kevin Acey's piece yesterday, and he's talking about like $50 to $60 million, right? If that's the case, and that forces you to trade Juan Soto, I can't be okay with that. I'm not okay with that at all. Do I think Juan Soto had a magical, fantastic, amazing season? No. Do I think Juan Soto had a very good season? Yes. Do I think Juan Soto didn't come up in clutch moments this year that could have really helped this team out? Yes. Do I also think Juan Soto was the best offensive player on the team? Absolutely. Could he be better? Yeah, he could be. And that's what the best thing about Juan Soto is. He put up the numbers he did this year, and he would even tell you, yeah, I could be way better than that. But because you already have blown your load in other areas of your team, and now your kitchen sink is leaking, the only way to fix it is you got to get rid of your refrigerator. Makes no sense.
Vito on YouTube chat has a good analogy too. He says it's like your car's engine being on fire, but you keep changing the tires.
Yeah. Like what? So trading Juan Soto to me would be stupid. I would be 100% against that. Even if you told me, hey, if you trade Juan Soto, that means you get a couple pitchers. Okay, but are they as valuable as Juan Soto? Or could you go out and could you find a couple pitchers and try to have them be revived by Ruben Niebla instead? I don't know. Me personally, I'm not getting rid of Juan Soto. They made their bed, so they have to sleep in it. I understand that. And for me, figure it out. Figure it out with Juan Soto on your team next year. Don't trade him at all. All right, coming up next, again, it's the Wounded Warriors Foundation Give-a-thon. Donations, go to warriorfoundation.org or call 619-578-2615. We'll talk with some Warriors coming up next. Also, we have the wrap, and we have a giveaway today, so make sure to stay tuned for that. All that coming up next on Jon and Jim. All right, this update is brought to you by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. Silver Sluggers handed out today, and Juan Soto won his 4th Silver Slugger in the outfield for the Padres. It was the only Silver Slugger award handed out to any Padre this year. Aztecs, they are back in action tomorrow night versus BYU in Provo, Utah. John Schaefer will be there calling the game. That's why he's not here today. 6 p.m. tip-off, 5:30 is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. And Aztecs football takes on Colorado State this Saturday at 4 p.m. That's when the kickoff is. 2 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions do apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details today. All right, Jon and Jim here on a Thursday. Jon is traveling to Provo, Utah to call the Aztecs BYU game tomorrow night. Hopefully we'll be joined by him. He's going to join us tomorrow, hopefully, from Utah. And then San Diego State takes on Colorado State this Saturday. But again, today is a very special day at iHeart San Diego every year. One day a year, we have the Wounded Warriors Foundation Give-a-thon. And we have Warriors joining us all throughout the day on the morning show, the afternoon show, and our show here from 3 to 6. Again, donations are greatly appreciated. Any donation helps, whether it be $5, $10, $20. It changes people's lives. And if you want to help donate, just go to warriorfoundation.org, or you can call. Very simple. We have people standing by waiting for donations. 619-578-2615. Again, that's 619-578-2615. And right now, we're joined by Shalana Love. Am I saying that correctly, Shalana?
You are, yes.
Shalana Love. And great. Thank you for joining us today. Just first off, how has this day been for you? And what does this day mean for you in general, and for people that you know that are a part of the Wounded Warriors Foundation?
It's been a beautiful day. We're in sunny San Diego. It's a perfect San Diego day. Warrior Foundation just means so much to me. My husband was a injured warrior as well. So just being here and carrying on his name just means everything. I know he's shining down and happy looking down on me.
Yeah, and it says here, and you mentioned it as well, like you lost your husband passing away, and he was a part of the Warriors Foundation. For him, what did it mean for him to be a part of the Wounded Warriors Foundation for going forward?
For him, it was family. When he transitioned out of the Navy, he lost that sense of family. So being here and being behind the American flag and just being around your brothers and sisters, it just means everything. You don't look the same, you don't speak the same, you might be in a different branch, but we're all family.
And for you, I'm sure that's been just such a tough thing in your life. How has the Warriors Foundation supported and helped you through this time?
When my husband was in the hospital, Sandy was there, and they would call and check on me. They came to visit him in the hospital, and when my husband passed away, they helped me find resources, and they even helped bury him. So for us, it's not just, while you're here and you're living here, it's just temporary, but for us, it's for life. So I'll be a part of Warrior Foundation for the rest of my life.
It's amazing to hear the things that the Wounded Warriors Foundation has helped you out with, and your late husband, and everything that has transpired in your life, and that you have people that are there for you, and you have people that are always going to be there for you to help you transition, and just speak to how important it is to have people there for one another, transitioning through just tough times in their lives. Being here at the Warrior Foundation.
Definitely. I'm so grateful for them. I don't know where we would be without them, and without the donors.
Yeah, no, the donors are a huge part of today. Again, if you want to help donate, you can go to warriorsfoundation.org, or you can call 619-578-2615. Again, that's 619-578-2615. So going forward for you, Shalana, looking ahead in the future, what are some of your aspirations and goals to be still connected and make sure that the Wounded Warriors Foundation, continues to help people going forward, like you and like your husband?
Everywhere I go, I tell everyone about Warrior Foundation. So my goal is to raise money for the future warriors to come, and make sure that they have resources and are able to transition without any hiccups. So my goal is to help carry on my husband's legacy, because his legacy is my legacy. So I'll be doing this for the rest of my life.
That's amazing. And by the way, what was your husband's name again?
Edwin Love.
Edwin Love. So, to honor and support, Edwin Love's life and everything that he meant to the Warriors Foundation, everything the Warriors Foundation meant to Edwin, just go and help donate right now. Go to warriorsfoundation.org or 619-578-2615. Shalana, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you for telling us your story. And we hope you have a great rest of your day. And thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
That was Shalana Love there from the Wounded Warriors Foundation. You know that it's a family there. Everybody that we've talked to today, it's a family. Everybody helps everybody out. Everybody makes sure that nobody is left behind. If people are having issues, people are having problems, if people are going through life-altering events like Shalana has with the passing of her husband, the Wounded Warriors Foundation is there to support them, to support the people, to get them through these tough times, to make sure they're not alone. This is exactly the type of thing that you want to help donate to and help support. If you're looking to help support one thing this year, help the Wounded Warriors Foundation. Again, that is warriorfoundation.org. You can go there, donate $5, $10, $20, or I know everybody has $5 in their pocket somewhere. And if you want to call, we have people standing by waiting to take your donation. 619-578-2615. Again, that's 619-578-2615. Just $5. That's it. $10, $20, anything helps. And it is greatly, greatly appreciated. We'll talk to more Warriors. We'll talk to, I believe, the CEO of the Wounded Warrior Foundation coming up here later in the show. We're promoting it throughout the rest of the day until 6 p.m. Donations all throughout the night. So anytime you want to help donate, they're there for you on this special day here at iHeart San Diego. All right, Brett, switching gears here. Let's get to the wrap.
Will the Lakers make it back to the Western Conference Finals this year?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. They got beat up by the Rockets last night.
Third worst loss in the LeBron Laker era.
Yeah. Could you define last night as Dylan Brooks locking up LeBron James, as he claimed he was going to do the other day?
He's got to be right sooner or later.
I mean, what, he scored like 18 points? That's not really locking somebody up?
For LeBron, it is.
For 39-year-old LeBron? I mean, maybe for like 20-year-old LeBron, but 39-year-old LeBron, I don't know about that one.
It's still Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks, it's fine, whatever. But the Anthony Davis thing is an issue. Like, if he can't be healthy, they're going to have major problems, I feel like. They have Gabe Vincent, who they signed to this huge contract, contribute absolutely nothing for them. And Anthony Davis isn't there. Austin Reeves, I haven't heard much about him this year at all.
He's faded off. Yeah,
he gave him a big contract. LeBron's another year older. I thought they had the depth there, if healthy, to be a potential top 4 team in the West. But I look at the Mavericks, I look at the Warriors, I look at the Nuggets, the Suns. That's just 4 teams right there that I think are better than the Lakers. The Timberwolves. The Clippers potentially, even though I don't really know about the James Harden situation there. But you get my point. Like, there's a lot of teams in front of them, I feel like. And to go in as a 7 seed, potentially again, like they did last year, and make a Western Conference Finals. Yeah, I don't know about that one, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
no.
Yeah.
They're not going to.
No. Next question.
Should Michigan's Jim Harbaugh be left out of the college football playoff with the rumors of cheating around their program?
Did you see what Stephen A. Smith said the other day? That's Jim Harbaugh should be suspended and Michigan should be taken out of the college football playoffs.
No.
And
Whatever, Steven.
dude, this whole cheating scandal, I feel like not overblown. It's a big deal.
It's overblown.
But it's also a little overblown. I think Dion said it perfectly a couple weeks ago. Look, the other team, most of the time, knows what's going on. They know, okay, it's a running play. They know it. The problem is, can you stop it? And if you can't stop it, that's the whole issue here.
Look, I think it might have been Feinbaum. One of them the other day said, look, you want to know the easy way to get rid of this and not have to worry about sign stealing from any school or anything in college football? Do exactly like they do in the NFL. Put the headsets in the mic, or put the microphones and the headsets in the helmet so the head coach and the coordinator can talk to the quarterback. And there you go. We don't have to send signs in anymore. We don't have to have those stupid cardboard cutouts with Shaggy's face on it or whatever they always have. That's, their little cute thing for their plays. And they don't have to worry about it at all. They can just do like the NFL and just send the plays in through the helmet.
No, that's a great point. I don't know why they don't do that already in college football. Makes no sense.
I don't either.
It makes absolutely no sense.
And it's not like they don't have some big, telecommunication sponsor like the NFL does to pay for all this equipment to put it in the helmets.
Yeah,
so.
College football, they can afford it. they can afford to do that.
And today, Harbaugh and Michigan threatened to sue if they did suspend him because they don't really have a lot of proof that they were actually stealing signs or cheating. So
no, it's all a bunch of
it's all hearsay.
And they see some videos where it looks like the communication is he's stealing signs, but
he can resign and go coach the Bears.
I view it this way, like in go coach the Bears. In baseball, sign stealing, it's like prevalent. It's like everybody does it.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's not like Michigan was, pulling an Astros where they're all hiding behind girders in the outfield, pounding on trash cans.
That's
or
different,
something.
yeah.
They sent scouts to games. Before
everybody sent scouts to games.
Exactly. Before the internet, that's how things got done. You would send scouts to watch, Rutgers play Ohio State.
Right.
But now they're like, oh, you can't do that.
I know. It makes no sense. Michigan, I think, is one of the best teams in the country. I don't think whatever they're doing or whatever they did helped them. So much that it swayed the pendulum towards Michigan here. So yeah, I think it's a little overblown, but we'll see what happens. It's definitely a story that will continue for sure. Brent, next question.
When the Aztecs get to full strength, what should their starting five be?
Okay, so their starting five on Monday night versus Cal State Fullerton was Jaden Ledee, Elijah Saunders, Micah Parrish, Reese Waters, and Lamont Butler. And when Darion Trammell gets back, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Because if they put Trammell in the lineup and take out Elijah, they immediately become smaller. Like, they are running the 4-guard out. If you're having Reese Waters or Micah Parrish play your 4, that could be a little bit an issue. So I think going forward, I like Elijah Saunders in the starting lineup. Gives them size. He still stretches the floor because he can shoot 3, right? It's not like you putting 2 bigs in there. They can't shoot. Jaden has now, expanded his game where he's taking more shots from the outside. Elijah can take a shot from the outside as well. He's not just a post-up guy. So for me, it's between. That's the thing. I like Reese and I like Micah in the starting lineup, but I don't know if I like Darion coming off the bench.
See, here's the thing: you start Trammell, and you sit Reese Waters. He is the Pac-12 sixth man of the year.
Sixth man of the year, yeah.
So that's kind of his thing, is coming off the bench and giving a spark. So I don't think he would have any problem being the first guy off the bench. And he's already won an award for being the sixth man off the bench. So
yeah,
I think it already answers itself. Just start Darion, leave Elijah in there, and then just bring him off the bench.
Yeah. I like that too. You're going to need buy-in from Reese Waters for sure. Transferring here.
I think he's already fully bought in.
No, I'm just saying, like, you need buy-in to come off the bench. Like,
yeah.
Like transferring here, thinking I'm going to get more opportunities and I'm going to be able to score more and I'm going to be starting. But then he gets put back on the bench. You might be like, wait, whoa, what?
Yeah, but that's one of those things where just because he comes off the bench, he'll still play a lot.
Yeah, he'll still play between 25 and 30 minutes a game.
Yeah, he'll still play a lot. So
I like that. I like that. A starting five of Lamont, Darion, Micah, Elijah, and Jaden. I think that's their best starting. I think that's maybe not their best lineup.
And depending on matchups, they could always switch it around. If they have a smaller team they're playing, they can go with a smaller lineup or a bigger, vice versa. So they can always change it, even though Dutch typically doesn't. I think he had 2 or 3 different lineups all of last year.
Yeah, and they had so much depth. Like me and John were talking about this the other day. Dude, their bench last year, Brent, was Micah Parrish, Jaden Ledee, Adam Seiko, and who am I forgetting? Forgetting one person. Who am I forgetting? Jaden Ledee, Micah Parrish, Adam Seiko. Wasn't Keyshawn because he was in the starting lineup. Was it AG? No, AG was in the starting lineup too. Matt Bradley was in the starting lineup. Lamont was in the starting lineup. I forget. I'm totally blanking right now. So I thought they had 4 coming off the bench because they had a deep team last year. Anyway, I'm blanking. I can barely speak. My throat is destroyed. But whatever. If you got the player, put it in the chat or text me 70470. I'm completely blanking on the other player. Anyway, next question, Brent.
Who do you think the leading candidate is for the Padres job today?
Today?
It changes every day.
It could be different tomorrow. Who do I think is the leading candidate? I'm hard pressed to say it's not still either Ryan Flaherty or Mike Schill until I see otherwise. Until there's a definitive report of this person is the leading candidate or whatnot. I have to go off of what Kevin and Dennis are reporting, that it's still viewed as Ryan Flaherty or Mike Schill. The other names are interesting. I think Benji Gill to me is the most interesting name of them all. Me and John have talked about it. That's our pick for manager. We're a Benji Gill house for Jon and Jim show. But would I be fine with Phil Nevin as manager? Yeah, I would be. I wouldn't hate it. Again, of all the candidates that the Padres have, Ryan Flaherty to me is still the option that gives me the most pause and the option that I would like the least. Like Ryan Flaherty to me would be a just 100% typical AJ Preller move. After all of this, you revert back to Ryan Flaherty.
Yeah, he would be my last option.
He is 100% my last option. I mean, it's just the guy that was your offensive coordinator the last couple years was in charge of an offense that underperformed every single year, and now he's your manager. And he's a first-time guy, and he's the youngest manager in all of baseball, 37 years old. He might translate one of the players, but I'm sorry. His credentials, to me, to manage this type of team with expectations that this team has, I'm sorry. Go manage somewhere else first, and then come back to the Padres. But to have the Padres be your first job for the expectations that they have, yeah, not going to happen for me. Not going to happen for me. So I do think it's one of those two. I think those are leading candidates. But I can tell you that Benji Gill or even Phil Nevin or even David Ross, I don't know how you feel about David Ross, Brent. I think I would choose one of them over Ryan Flaherty easily.
Yeah, I'd probably take him over Flaherty. I don't know if I'd take him over the other two, though. He's still learning. because they pretty much threw him from, being backup catcher right into being manager after the World Series. And so he's learning, but it's like I told John the other day, if they would go that route, it's almost like hiring a first-year manager again, because he's got a couple years under his belt, but he still doesn't have a lot of experience and he's still learning, and you're going to have to give him a little bit of slack to grow.
Right. Yeah. And that's the problem is whoever the manager is next year, do they have room to grow? I don't think so. Yeah, a little bit.
That all depends. If the players actually come out and play the way they're supposed to, it'll give them a little more leeway for them to grow, opposed to
Brett,
if they come out and
you're talking crazy right now.
I'm
Players actually
sorry.
performing
I was
up
talking
to their level
expectations.
of the expectations. You are talking crazy right now. Expectations being met with
Hold on,
players.
I said the E word. I got to dump us.
Yeah, sorry. Media talking about expectations. We can't talk about the E word. If we use the E word and we translate it and put it on to the Padres, it's our fault. It's media's fault. Can't have expectations for teams or players. But you're right. If the players perform to their expectations, like you could be the manager, Brent.
Well, yeah, he'll have more leeway to, just talk about grow. He'd have more leeway to grow, opposed to if they, come out of the gates the first 2 months and they're just, in the toilet, to where it's like, oh, it's all your fault. And it's like, oh, well, sorry.
Can the players buy in? They buy into whoever the new manager is. Like I have yet to see any reaction from any player about Bob Melvin's departure.
Well,
Nothing.
There's nothing really they can say about it now. It's because if they come out now and are just like, oh yeah, I didn't like Bob anyways, he sucks, they're gonna come out and
say that.
Well, I know, but I mean, they're gonna look petty if they do that, and they're not gonna come out and just, it doesn't make any sense to really talk about it now, because it's just gonna be bringing up more, I don't know, more rough patches from, what went on last year. So it makes sense that they're just letting it go and not talking about it.
I guess, but it is interesting. I these players played a big factor in this whole thing. Bob played a factor. AJ played a big factor in it.
And it would be worse if, if Soto or them came out and was like, oh yeah, I wish Bob was still here, or I really liked Bob, because then it's gonna be like, oh, now there's more dissension because Soto wanted Bob to stay and they got rid of him. And
yeah, I get it, but still, it is interesting. Like nothing on Bob yet. I don't know if anybody's even had a chance to talk to any players though. That's another thing too. Like, did anybody go up to Joe Musgrove on Monday night at Fieldhouse Arena? Hey, Joe, what do you think of Bob Melvin going to the Giants?
See, you should have done that. You were there.
I know.
You dropped the ball.
I'm sorry. I really did drop the ball. All right, coming up next, make sure you're listening. We have a special giveaway coming up next. You're going to want to tune in for that to find out how to win. Also, we have more Warriors coming up to talk about today. It's a special day here on San Diego Sports 760 and all around iHeart San Diego. It's the Warriors Foundation Give-a-thon, warriorfoundation.org, or you can call 619-578-2615 to donate. More Jon and Jim coming up next. All right, coming up next, giveaway. Make sure you're listening for that. Also, how the Padres going to fill their rotation needs for next season. We'll talk about that coming up next. All right, this update is brought to you by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. We'll start with Padres news today. Juan Soto won his 4th Silver Slugger with the Padres today. Only Padre to win a Silver Slugger this year. Aztecs to take on BYU tomorrow night in Provo, Utah. That's where John is right now. 6 o'clock tip-off. 5:30 is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. And Aztecs football this weekend versus Colorado State. Saturday afternoon, 4 p.m. kickoff. 2 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with Code Sports, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions do apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details today. All right, back here on Jon and Jim. Special day here at iHeart San Diego with the Wounded Warriors Foundation Give-a-thon. If you want to help donate, there's multiple ways to do that. It's very, very simple. You can go to warriorfoundation.org, or you can simply just call 619-578-2615. Every dollar matters. Every dollar counts. We've heard from a couple Warriors today, and just listening to how important the Warriors Foundation is to their lives, to their families' lives, to the health, mental health of them going forward in life. It's everything. And this is the exactly type of foundation and cause that you want to help donate to, especially here in San Diego. With so many wounded warriors, the Wounded Warriors Foundation is the perfect place to donate your money this year too. Again, go to warriorfoundation.org, or you can call right now. We have people standing by at the phones ready to take your donations. 619-578-2615. 5 o'clock hour, we'll be joined by another Warrior talking about their experiences and how the Warrior Foundation has helped them in their lives. All right, moving over to, again, oh, by the way, make sure to stay with us because next segment here, we're giving away a pair of tickets to the Rady's Children's Invitational. All right? The Rady's Children's Invitational. Not right now. Don't call right now. But coming up next segment, we're going to be giving those away. I know we usually do Jon and Jim. We've tried Jon and Jim with just me. Maybe we could maybe do that. We could try it.
Yeah, we got stuff going on with the Warrior-thon today, so we'll go back tomorrow.
We'll go back tomorrow, but today we'll do.
John will be with us tomorrow, so we can do it proper tomorrow.
Hopefully, he'll be with us tomorrow. Hopefully, but make sure you stay.
Well, he was, but now you just jinxed him. Thanks, Jim.
I know. I know. This is going to turn into the Jim and Brent show here pretty soon. But make sure you're staying with us. There's one thing that you're going to need to listen to during this segment that will help you win the tickets coming up later this hour. So make sure you stay listening if you want to win these tickets, all right? Make sure you stay listening. Pair of tickets to Rated Children's Invitational. All right, so Kevin AC wrote an article the other day, and this quote definitely stood out from this article. And when thinking about how to fill their roster and build the pitching staff and get a first baseman and a catcher and a bench piece and probably an outfielder, right? The first thing everyone's like, we talked about, oh, it's trade Juan Soto. Trade Juan Soto. I'm like, did we guys trade Juan Soto? He did mention in his article yesterday that there's one scenario that could keep Juan Soto long-term and help the team next year to help build the roster. My eyes perked up. I was like, oh, what is that? Well, however unlikely this may be, it is still an option that's out there. It probably is the best option, I feel like, to keep Juan Soto, have him long-term, but also give you a little bit of flexibility to help build up the rest of your roster. And that would be, one, to sign Juan Soto to a long-term contract and have the money be less upfront and more backloaded. The likelihood of that happening with Scott Boras as his agent, probably very slim. But I think that is the option that they might try to go.
They would maybe go with that opposed to just because all the money in baseball is guaranteed. So it's not like if this was football to where they decided they're going to backload his contract and then he gets injured, then they get out of having to pay him the bigger contract towards the end of his career. Baseball, it's all guaranteed. So even if they would backload his contract and then, something would happen to him, he's still going to get paid. So I don't think Boras would care. So they might go with that.
Maybe.
I guess it really depends on if he really wants to stay here.
Well, it all depends on what money they offer. If they offered him a $475 million contract, which would be, 30 more million than what the Nationals offered, and if you backload the whole thing, I mean, you'd be screwed down the road because you got Xander, Manny, Tatis, and Soto. You'd be absolutely screwed. But you'd be able to keep Juan Soto for the foreseeable future, the next couple years in his prime, next 4 or 5 years. And you have a little wiggle room here up front. If you have his AAV down, instead of $34 million this year, maybe it's $24 million. And you have it backloaded to where towards the end of his contract, he's making like $45 million a year. Would you want that? I don't know. Because every time they've done this type of deal, it's backfired on them. Like the Manny deal this year, so far this past year, it backfired. Who knows if it's going to end up being good down the road, right? The Xander Bogaerts deal, that backfired on him. The Yu Darvish deal, that backfired on him. The Jake Cronenworth deal, that backfired on him. So would signing Juan Soto to this massive deal just to give you the flexibility that you need this year while also keeping Juan Soto, right? Have your cake and eat it too, or whatever the terminology is there.
Yeah, that's right.
Could you do that? Do you think that Juan Soto and Scott Boras would be okay with that? I don't know about that one, but maybe.
I said, if anything, it's just because we have the guaranteed money in baseball. Like I said,
True.
any other sport, I think they'd tell us to go kick rocks. I'm not doing that in case, I get hurt. But, baseball, it's guaranteed. So you're going to get it either way. It's Is this, do you really need it all right now, or can you just get most of it later?
Well, Scott Boras clients, I don't know if they like to wait before they get their money. I think that they're the type of people, and that Scott Boras wants to get their money right away.
Well, as long as they get it, that's all that matters.
True, as long as they get it. But like, hey, $475 million, who says no to that? Right? Just backload the whole thing. Last 5 years of the deal, you're making like $50 million a year. Helps you the first 5.
Look, we just need you to play for free for the first 4 years of your deal, and then
Totally.
we'll just pay you the rest of it.
Right. We'll pay you $475 million in a 5-year window. But for the first 5 years, can you just like, I don't know, play for free for us?
And we'll just shake on it like our former owner. You can trust us.
Yeah, you can trust me. You can trust me. I am your friend. I am AJ Preller. I am your buddy. I don't know. That was something that I saw in Kevin's piece that I was like, huh, interesting. If that was something that could happen. But again, the likelihood of it happening is pretty slim. I got hopes up. I got the hopes up. Hey, they could keep Juan Soto. They signed him to a long-term contract. They just got to backload this whole deal and really screw this franchise even more down the line. But hey, for the next 5 years, that's all I care about. That's all I care about is next year. Who cares about 5-6 years down the road? Can they win a championship in the next 4? That's all that matters to me. All right, coming up next, make sure you stay tuned. We're going to be giving away a special giveaway. Coming up next, the pair of tickets to the Rady's Children's Invitational. Also, it's the Warriors Foundation Give-a-thon today. Make sure that if you are driving around and you're tuning in and you're hearing about this and you want to help donate, but you're thinking to yourself, how do I donate? Well, warriorfoundation.org is the place to go. Also, you can call 619-578-2615 to help donate. More Jon and Jim coming up next. Jon and Jim back here on a Thursday. Jon is traveling to Provo, Utah to call the Aztecs BYU game tomorrow night. And then we have Aztecs football on Saturday in Colorado Springs, Colorado State versus San Diego State. 4 p.m. kickoff there. 2 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts.
Did Jon pack his beet juice?
That's a good question. I don't think he did, but I'm sure he would love to have some beet juice if it was available to him.
Well, it has to be available because it's a high altitude or elevation game.
Is that they drink that for going to BYU, or is that for like Wyoming?
It's for all of the elevation games.
See, I don't know if I'd be down with that, Brent. Like if someone's like, "Hey, you have to drink beet juice," I'm like, I don't know about that one.
I don't know. I've never had it. It doesn't sound very appealing, but maybe it won't be that bad. I used to always like to get like when you go to like buffets, they always have like the pickled beet rings or whatever, you know. I would always eat those when I was a kid.
The beet juice, like the color of it, I'd be like, oh, it looks kind of good. Like it's like a dark purple.
Yeah, just pretend it's pomegranate or something.
But at the same time, I feel like beets. I've tasted one beet before, and it tasted like dirt. Like it tasted like
okay, Al Michaels.
It just didn't taste like anything to me. I was like, oh, what is this? I don't know. I'm just picky, very picky. My palate is very picky. And to me, my mind did not compute something purple not tasting like sweet. I don't know why. It just didn't taste that.
Sugar water purple.
I guess. So Jon's drinking his beet juice, going to Provo right now. And hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. Again, today is a very special day here on San Diego Sports 760 and all around the iHeartRadio cluster. It's our Warriors Foundation give-a-thon. And we've talked to a couple of Warriors today, talking about their stories and how much the Warrior Foundation has meant to them and meant to their lives and how important it is in San Diego. And if you want to donate, there's a couple ways to do that. It's very simple. $5, $10, $20, doesn't matter how much you donate. Anything that's donated helps a wounded warrior in their lives. Go to warriorfoundation.org, or you can text 619-578-2615. Again, the number is 619-578-2615. Brent, I saw this story today, and this is such a LeBron James thing. So LeBron has done some amazing things in Akron, building schools, facilities for kids, and that's all great, right? It's all great. And he has a foundation in his family name. It's awesome. Can't knock LeBron at all for that. But when I saw this come down for Mark Spears, I was like, I don't know about this one. It just speaks to the self-centeredness of LeBron James. All right. The tweet reads, the LeBron James Family Foundation. So you read that first, and you're like, okay, cool. He's going to do something really cool. Says that it's slated to open the first official museum dedicated to the journey and milestones of Lakers star LeBron James. It will be named the LeBron James Home Court at House 330 in Akron, Ohio, on November 25th, including a self-guided tour. So let me get this straight. LeBron James has used his LeBron James Family Foundation that's donated money to create a museum dedicated to himself. Is that what I'm getting at?
Pretty much.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, see, that's one of those things where, you know, it's one thing if like Madame Tussauds is like, hey, LeBron, we're going to make a wax figure of you. That's fine because LeBron doesn't like run Madame Tussauds. So it's not like, oh, hey, boss, here, we made a statue of you.
Right. Like, oh, we just.
And not only his statue, here's a museum of you.
I love the tweets. The first one says, very humble of you, LeBron.
Yeah, no kidding.
The next one, this one's great. After a few years, the museum will relocate to Miami. Someone else said, I can't wait for the 2011 finals exhibit part of the museum. All the kids who have failing grades at this school can work there. Like, whoa, chill out. There's another picture of LeBron giving himself a medal, like LeBron giving himself an award. Yeah. Where's the exhibit where he lost to all the Warriors teams all those times? Like, just setting yourself up to get, I mean, if the museum is made for you, don't you want it to be by someone else?
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. It needs to be by somebody else, not you can't do it yourself. It's just like the nickname thing. You can't give yourself your own nickname unless you're Kobe. Kobe is the only person that was allowed to give himself his own nickname.
Now, did LeBron give himself his own nickname, King James?
No.
Okay. I thought he did. But anyway, he lived up to it, right? And so it's fine. But if you give yourself a nickname, you're right. You better either be a baller or, I mean, there's really no other option. You better be really good if you give yourself your own nickname. But to create your own museum dedicated to your journey as a basketball player under your foundation's name.
Nike came up with King James.
Okay, that's fine. I thought that was interesting. Like, it's just such a LeBron thing to do. You know, every time I see LeBron, like I like, oh, I'm the greatest of all time.
I'm just trying to think of, how can we just make everything in this museum about LeBron? When you're waiting in line
Right.
for things, do we have to watch Space Jam 2?
Everything has to be LeBron. You're absolutely right. When you're in line, you're force-fed Space Jam 2. The original Space Jam is like in a trash
and I want to
can.
see, I only saw parts of this because it was just awful. But the House Party remake that they made.
Dude, I did not see that movie, but I heard it was horrific.
I love the original House Party. That was like when I was young, so I was big into the Kid and Play House Party. Yeah. But I did see the House Party remake was in LeBron's house, and he had all these like digital things of like him giving himself daily affirmations of being like, no, your hairline's great, there's nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah, I know.
Just put a whole bunch of that stuff in there.
That's probably what the museum's going to be. Everything is fine. You're the best player ever. Michael Jordan never existed. Those years when you lost to the Warriors, those never happened because guess what? They had KD, so they don't really count. The 2011 finals, nobody's going to remember that.
Text line says LeBron's museum is like your boss buying the world's best boss mug and then using it at work.
Right, I'm the best boss ever. Like, who bought that mug? I did. So yeah, LeBron's creating the museum for himself off of the donations from his family foundation, the LeBron James Family Foundation, to create a museum about LeBron James. I can't wait to see what the museum is. What else is on the text line, Brent? Anything else?
No, I'm still laughing about just the museum. That was it.
All right. Caller, let's say caller 6 right now. Caller 6, 844-570-1360. You win a pair of tickets to the Rady's Children's Invitational. Caller 6, 844-570-1360. You can win a pair of tickets to the Rady's Children's Invitational. The Rady's Invitational. It's the men's basketball college tournament here in San Diego. It's the first ever invitational that happens on Thanksgiving Day this year at the Lion Tree Arena on the UC San Diego campus with 4 elite basketball teams here in San Diego. You got the Hawkeyes, the Trojans, Seton Hall, and Oklahoma Sooners. Call right now. Caller number 6, 844-570-1360. You win a pair of tickets to the Rady's Children's Invitational.
And these tickets are for the championship session. So you'll get to see the championship and the consolation game. So it's not going to be like first round or second round. You're going to actually get to see the championship game and the consolation game. So
love it. Caller number 6 right now, 844-570-1360. You win a pair of tickets to the Rady's Children's Invitational here in San Diego. All right, coming up next, we have more from the Wounded Warriors Foundation. We'll give you your way that you can help donate to the cause. Also, Padres have interviewed another manager candidate. Who is it? We'll tell you all that coming up next. All right, this update is brought to you by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. We'll start with Padres news. Juan Soto today won a Silver Slugger, his fourth in his career. Only Padre this year to win a Silver Slugger. The Aztecs, they take on BYU, the basketball team, tomorrow, 6 p.m. tip-off. 5:30 is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. And the Aztecs football team takes on Colorado State Saturday, 4 p.m. 2 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions do apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details today. All right, Jon and Jim on a Thursday, final hour, taking to 6 o'clock right here on San Diego Sports 760. Jon, he's out today. He is traveling to Provo, Utah to call the Aztecs BYU game tomorrow night. Hopefully he'll be joined by us or join with us tomorrow afternoon on Jon and Jim. And again, today, it's a special day here at San Diego Sports 760 and iHeart San Diego. It's the Wounded Warriors Foundation Give-a-thon. And if you are looking to donate, it's very simple, very easy to do that. Go to warriorsfoundation.org, or you can call. It's very simple, 619-578-2615. That, again, is 619-578-2615. Can't stop coughing. That's great for radio. If you want to donate, you can. It's greatly appreciated. $5, $10, $20, anything helps. We'll be joined by another Warrior here coming up in a bit. We do a lot of great things here at San Diego. The Rady's Children's Give-a-thon, the Warriors Foundation Give-a-thon here, Warriors Freedom Foundation. It's great. It's what separates iHeart San Diego from everybody else is the amount of events and amount of charities that this company helps out, and the big days that we have around here. We don't go little. We don't go small. It's not just something little. We go big. And I know we're not down there today, but we've had every show down there. We've had the morning show, Darren, other stations, other shows from other stations in the building down there today. The event is great. It helps. It plays a huge role in people's lives. And any type of donation, any way possible, will help out people more than you know. And it could just be $5. It could be $10. It could be $20. It doesn't. Anything will help. warriorfoundation.org or call 619-578-2615. Again, we're going to be joined by another Warrior here coming up in a bit. I believe we're going to be joined by Junior Rodriguez. So stay tuned for that. He's going to join us here any moment now. Also, we'll get into the Padres and their managerial search. It's still continuing. I think Darren had a cards that said who, like everybody puts in the cards who the manager should be or who the manager will be. But I think what we should start doing now is we should start writing days and times. Right? That would be more. That would be fun. All right. What day do you think the Padres will hire a manager? I think we should do that. I think I'm going to start that, Brent, tomorrow. If they don't hire a manager by 3 p.m. tomorrow, I think I'm going to start where everybody has to guess what day the Padres will hire a manager. For me, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But right now, we're joined by Junior Rodriguez. Junior, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. How are you guys? Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I know we're not there in person with you, but we are definitely there in spirit. This show is. And we are glad that you can join us today to help support a great cause. And for our listeners out there, can you just tell them your story and what makes the Warrior Foundation so special to you?
So my story is, I ended up at Naval Medical Center San Diego after injuries, and after combat deployments, it changed me, and unfortunately, I had PTSD, and I had a suicide attempt in which I survived. And afterwards, part of my recovery was health and wellness. And health and wellness, I actually got involved with the Wolfpack wheelchair basketball team, and started out as an intern, and now I'm the program director for it. And with Warrior Foundation, they support us 150%, and in our umbrella, it helps other veterans around the country with wheelchair basketball.
Wow, that's an amazing story to hear there, and how the Warrior Foundation has helped you, and seeing people around you that have helped you out. Just talk about what they have meant to your life, and getting you on the track that you are now.
Warrior Foundation's been an impactful part of my life. They saved my life. The Wolfpack wheelchair basketball team. You know, to see single, double, triple amputees, guys missing eyes, and still being full of life and full of fight and just wanting to compete and be normal, it puts your things in perspective. If you're having a bad day, I look at these guys and I'm like, man, look at everything they've endured. And, Warrior Foundation gives us the opportunity to give back to them and to pay it back and pay it forward.
No, absolutely. I think it's well said there that the Warrior Foundation, everybody we talked to today, Junior, has pretty much had the same sentiment, that the amount of help and what the Warrior Foundation has meant to them has, in a way, in one form or another, saved their lives. And for you, the donations that you see today from people, how much does that impact, and how much does just any type of donation help people like you and people around you in the Warrior Foundation?
We are extremely, extremely blessed and thankful for all the listeners out there that have helped us and all the viewers. Every dollar that Warrior Foundation gets, 90 cents go back directly to us.
Mhm.
With programs like the Wolf Pack, with transitional housing at Freedom Station 1, 2, and 3. I know that our donors' money are well taken care of. We make sure that it's used in every way to help, just with simple things, flying them home for Christmas, giving them holiday cheer when they're at the hospital, and helping them with adaptive activities where stand-up paddleboarding, snowboarding, wheelchair basketball, and golf.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people in the Warrior Foundation, and like you, have got into sports, and with the Wolfpack wheelchair basketball team. Just tell me a little bit about that. Like that sounds very interesting to me. Like how has that played this role in your life now to where you are today?
I mean, it's been a significant part of my life. As I said earlier, watching these guys compete, get back into the fight, the camaraderie of the team, just being there, for an ultimate goal of winning a national championship for the National Wheelchair Basketball Association. It's helped us out tremendously. I mean, these guys compete every day. They, keeps them in tip-top shape, which mentally it helps them to grow stronger. And for me personally, it's helped me grow and develop and be able to give back and move and pay it back and forward. And I'm involved with National Wheelchair Basketball Association as a women's commissioner now.
Wow.
I'm part of the military division, bringing in more veterans back to wheelchair basketball that was started by veterans after World War II.
Wow, that's amazing. So like I'm assuming going forward for you, your goal is to help build these programs as best you possibly can, right?
Yes, it is. I mean, right now I have two teams, our Division I team with 10 athletes, and my veteran team with 8 athletes, for a total of 18. And I love being able to spread the sport to everybody, able bodies, kids that are in wheelchairs, to let them know, hey, this is an opportunity for everybody. And for those veterans out there, just reminding them, hey, just because something might have happened, the road's not over.
No, absolutely not. And the Warriors Foundation does a fantastic job to make sure that people have the resources available to them to make sure that their lives are changed. And if you want to help donate, Go to warriorfoundation.org, or you can call right now, 619-578-2615. The number again is 619-578-2615. You hear the phones ringing in the background there. Junior, we appreciate you for joining us. Thank you so much for telling your story, and we hope you have a great rest of your day, man.
Thank you, and thank you for being part of this, and thank San Diego listeners for being part of this. And as I said, your money is going to a great cause. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Junior. Appreciate that. And like you heard there from Junior, every dollar that is given, 90 cents goes directly to Wounded Warriors, and everything counts. So it's a huge cause in San Diego, especially with veterans that are dealing with disabilities, and the Warrior Foundation helps all of them. And if you want to help support wounded veterans, the Warriors Foundation, it's very simple. Just go to warriorfoundation.org, or you can call right now, 619-578-2615 to help donate today. And you can help people like Junior right now in their lives. And it's such a great cause. It's an absolutely great cause. And I'm glad that San Diego Sports 760 and I Heart San Diego do things like this every year, because without this, it's hard to get the word out a lot of times. And with this, the Warriors Foundation is a perfect thing to do. Perfect thing to do. And if you want to, if you were thinking this year, I want to donate to a charity, and you didn't know what to donate, the Warriors Foundation is the perfect place to donate. For people like Junior, you can go there right now, warriorfoundation.org, 619-578-2615. Okay, we'll be pumping out those numbers and where you can donate for the rest of the show until 6 p.m. But moving over back to the Padres and their managerial search, today we saw that they interviewed Phil Nevin, and there was a promo running. I don't know. I hope it's not running still, Brent, but I kind of was like, and I'm wrong a lot. I'm not like saying that I'm like, I'm not saying that I'm like always right. By the way, I got people on social media, dude. They like really hate me. There's one guy got in an argument with me today about AJ Preller, saying it was like the greatest thing ever. And then another guy said that I'm an idiot, and the only reason he's like, the only thing that triggers me is your bald spot on my head. I was like, okay. Someone said that because Manny Machado was at the SDFC like groundbreaking at Saquon for their performance. I guess their like performance, I guess, facility.
Okay.
For the Dreamers. And someone, what did he say? He said Manny Machado's probably hoping he'll run into Jim Russell so Manny can smack him with a shovel, because he's holding the shovel, like is the groundbreaking, right? Shovel and a hard hat. I was like, dude, damn, I really triggered you, bro. He goes, the only thing that triggers me is your bald spot. I was like, whoa, you got me there. Oh, you got me there. Congratulations. Anyway, where was I?
Why does he hate bald people?
I don't know, dude. I'm not like that. I mean, it's whatever, dude. Okay? It's life. All right? Get over it. Chill out. It's fine. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. The Padres managerial search. Duh. Phil Nevin today reported that he interviewed with the Padres. And I said, look, I thought that would 100% not work. And I don't see it. I was like, I don't see that. I don't see that. You got a hard head guy perceived from the outside in Phil Nevin. Heard from Darren, who is very close with Phil Nevin. And I trust Darren. Very smart baseball guy. Knows his stuff. Very intellectual. Like, you can talk to baseball with Phil Nevin for hours on end. I don't doubt that at all. The only question I have, it's a question with every single person that comes through the building here that is the manager of the Padres, is can they work with AJ? It doesn't matter. Like, we thought if Bob Melvin was not going to work, how can you fully 100% expect and trust that any new manager that he hires will work until you see it happen?
Yeah, Nevin's always kind of come off to me as a take no crap kind of a guy.
Right.
To where it's like you said, that's the big, $20 million question here is what's going to happen the first time AJ, gets bored and decides, oh, I'm going to go and play assistant manager now and,
Right.
go down and get involved in stuff that I should just let my manager take care of. And Nevin's not going to bite his tongue about it. He's probably going to tell him to get the hell out of there.
Yeah. And that was a problem with Bob Melvin, is that he told AJ Preller and his cronies, like, get the hell out of here. Like, guys, get out of my office. That was a problem. Is Phil Nevin going to be doing that? Maybe. Because in the interview process, you're trying to make the best impression possible, right? With both people, with AJ and whoever the guy that AJ is interviewing. There's no way you're going into an interview at your worst. That's just not how life works.
I'm just thinking of like the interview process now of, how they always ask you these like scenarios and questions when you do a job interview. Okay, now let's say in this scenario, you have a micromanaging boss who likes to come down and insert himself in places he shouldn't be. How would you handle that type of situation?
You're like, well, who are you talking about,
I would
AJ?
do nothing.
Yeah,
You're hired.
Yeah, exactly. You're hired, my friend. That's what I feel. That's why I feel like you should, if you're interviewing for a job, you're gonna be putting on your best face. You're gonna be putting on like your best attitude, everything. You're never gonna start off an interview and it's like, I hate your guts, because you're probably not gonna get hired.
Yeah, you're not going to go in there and pretty much reenact the Step Brothers interview.
Yeah, shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. Shut your effing mouth. Excuse me? You heard me. Like, that's one of the best scenes in the whole movie. Anyway, so yeah, it will, whoever they hire, okay, it will probably be sunshine and rainbows and everything is great. And oh, they work so well together. That's fine. That's what happened with Bob. Happened with Jace. What happened with Andy. I don't know if that really happened with Pat Murphy, but you get my point. Is it usually always starts out pretty good. How do they react when things aren't going well? How do they react when AJ makes that first call at 3 a.m. on Thanksgiving Day or Christmas Eve? Like, what are you doing, AJ? Like, why are you calling me at 3 a.m.? How does the relationship?
I think Bogarts could be a good DH.
Yeah.
Shut up,
Like,
AJ.
shut up, AJ. Trying to put my kid to sleep. Like, how does the relationship and the working relationship go forward when those bumps in the road eventually happen? Because they're going to happen. All right. AJ is AJ. He's not going to be changing much. You think he's going to be changing, but he's not going to be really changing. Okay. He might change a couple things about himself, and he might change a couple things on a bigger scale in the short term, but you can bet your ass in the long term, AJ is going to be AJ. All right. He's got essentially a lifetime deal here, it feels like. He's not going anywhere in the foreseeable future. So, how is that relationship going to look when there's bumps in the road? And with Phil Nevin, I think to myself, I don't know how that would work, how that would like necessarily be good. I don't know how Phil would fare with AJ Preller. I think Phil Nevin would be a good manager, but I don't know if he'd be a good manager with AJ Preller. Same thing with Benji Gill. I think Benji Gill would be a really good manager. I don't know if he'd be a really good manager with AJ Preller. So those are my questions going into whoever they hire. I just am sitting here and I said it today on social media. I hope AJ Preller fixes it. I hope he does, because you got no other choice. We've got no other choice here. The only choice is you hope AJ Preller fixes it and you hope he changes. Otherwise, in 2 years, we'll be talking about another managerial search. That's the way in life of the Padres right now.
It's almost like we don't even hire managers. We just lease them.
Yeah. Like, we got a 2-year lease on this guy. And after a year and a half, it's like, the engine's not really working. So we got to get rid of this dude. We're looking at a new car
trade
already.
up.
Right. The lease isn't really officially done yet, but we're already looking at this other car over here. Kind of what they did with Ryan Flaherty. So We are in wait mode right now. 100%. There's no doubt about it. We are waiting for the next manager. We don't know what's going to happen. I kind of want to start, Brent. You know, Darren has the envelopes for the manager.
Just do a pool. Yeah.
I want to do envelopes for like day and time.
Just start an office pool.
Office pool for day and time.
You know, people always do that for like pregnancy pools.
Right. Like,
So-
oh, they're going to deliver on, you know, November 15th at 9:30 a.m.
Do it. Type it up and put it in the thing.
All right.
We'll post it on Monday and we'll see what everyone puts in it.
Okay. So I will say, let me think here. It's a good question. All right. I'm going to think about that. And if you have any guesses, 70470, start your message with team. When do you think Preller is going to hire the next manager? Not who, because we've talked about that a lot. Not who, but when is he going to hire the next manager? Is it going to be as early as in like 5 minutes? Is it going to be as late as this time next week? Or is it going to be sometime this weekend?
After Thanksgiving.
Oh my God.
It's not that far.
I know it's not
it
that
seems
far.
like it is, but Thanksgiving is pretty close.
I know it's not that far, but I can't go that long, Brent. I need to know who the manager is now. Screw everything else. I need to know.
Yeah, but they don't even know.
I know that's the thing. If they don't know, then why should I even know? But if you have a guess on when AJ Preller will hire our next manager, text us 70470. Start your message with team. We're starting a little office pool of our own. We'll talk about that and Juan Soto's future and the rotation coming up next. All right, coming up next, your guesses for when the Padres will hire their next manager. Also, give you opportunities and ways to donate today to the Wounded Warriors Foundation. The Give-a-thon is today. We'll talk about all that coming up next. All right, this update is brought to you by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. Juan Soto won another Silver Slugger today for the Padres, his fourth in his career. Moving over to the Aztecs, they take on BYU tomorrow night in Provo, Utah. 6 o'clock tip-off. 5:30 is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. In football action, the Aztecs take on Colorado State this Saturday, 4 p.m. kickoff. 2 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions do apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details today. Yeah, guys, we have about 30 minutes left in today's show. I know that this is going to go out through all night long, but the next 30 minutes, if you haven't, and you're driving around San Diego and you've been hearing on multiple stations throughout this cluster about the Wounded Warriors Foundation and you want to donate, it's very simple. Go to warriorfoundation.org or you can text 619-578-2615. It's a great place to donate. We've heard today from some Warriors, Sergeant Mike Spivey. We heard from Shulana Love, and we've heard from Junior Rodriguez, and their stories were incredible, and just how important the Warriors Foundation, the Wounded Warriors Foundation, is to their lives and to every veteran's life that is dealing with issues that need help. This is the cause to donate to, and it helps every single warrior. 90 cents goes to every single warrior of every dollar spent, every dollar donated. So go help them right now. It's a great cause. If you're thinking about, look, I want to donate to one charity this year, but I don't know what charity to donate to. You still yet to do that. The Wounded Warrior Foundation is the charity to do that. warriorsfoundation.org or call 619-578-2615. So before the break, Brent, we talked about not who will the Padres hire, but when will the Padres hire a manager? And we're starting an office pool here. So, Brent, I'm going to need your date of when they're going to hire a manager. I don't need times. I don't need any of that because it's too hard. But I need a date.
I really don't want to know down to the millisecond what time they're going to do
No,
it.
I don't want like Saturday at 3:33 and 42 seconds. Like no. I just want a date on when they're going to hire their next manager. We'll do Price is Right rules, or closest to the time, closest to the day wins.
27th.
The 27th. Oh my God.
It's the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Bro, if they hire a manager, if they wait till the 27th, I'll lose my freaking mind.
I think they will. They don't seem like they're in any hurry right now, which, I guess if they get who they want, they can take their time. But, I'm just worried if they sit on their hands too long, all the people they want are going to be gone.
Okay, wow. You're taking the 27th. I'm going to take sooner than that. I'm going to take. Look, I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for it right here, Brent. I'm going to say the 13th.
Oh, that early.
Monday. So they're going to hire a manager by Monday. I'm going the 13th. All right. I'll text John. I'll get his guess. I'll text Darren. I'll get his guess. Got to get the morning show too. I need to know a date when the Padres will hire their next manager. Now, I put this out on social media. I put it on Twitter. And a lot of people are chiming in. Josh says, does hiring himself as a manager count? That's like the kind of running joke is that AJ Preller is just going to hire himself as manager, right? Alex says Monday. Tuesday's the presser. So me and Alex are on the same page. Fern, you're like this, Brent, says Christmas.
Oh, it won't be that long.
Christmas? Dude, they have to have a manager by Christmas.
I'm looking at it like Christmas is on a set, or not Christmas. Now they got me thinking of Christmas. Thanksgiving is on, let's see. So in 2 weeks, that week of Thanksgiving, they're going to do nothing that week. So they're not going to announce anything. They're not going to do any search. So that week is pretty much just going to be meaningless. So it's just like throwing it out. So that's why I think the 27th.
Okay, now Darnay Tripp has texted.
Okay.
He has a very good question.
Uh-huh.
He says, leaked report or formal announcement? Because formal announcement is different than leaked report. Like leaked report.
Formal announcement.
So from the team? Like the team has to, like, we don't, like, even if Kevin AC tomorrow reports, Phil Nevin's the guy.
Yes, until I hear it from the Padres' mouth themselves. So yeah, I want formal announcement.
Formal announcement. Now, have the Mets done a formal announcement for Carlos Mendoza? Have the Cubs done a formal announcement for Craig Counsell?
No, I think they're waiting to see if Counsell wins the Manager of the Year award, so they can give it to him in a Cubs jersey.
See, I don't know about that, because if we know who the manager is, then like we're just waiting on a formal announcement from the team. I want the day that we find out who the manager is. That's what this thing is about.
Okay.
It's about when we find out who the manager is. All right, Darnay? So if AC reports tomorrow that Benji Gill's the guy, then that's the day. If it's reported on Monday, then that's when I win. If it's reported on the 27th, that's when Brent wins. Darnay, text me when you think the official, I guess, leak from Kevin or John Heyman or Passan, whoever it is.
Anonymous sources.
Well, someone credible. It has to be someone credible, right? Dennis Lynn. The last person that announced the Bob Melvin, the first person there was AJ Cassavell. So it's whenever it's reported who the manager will be, because the formal announcement could literally it could take a while, right? We know Carlos Mendoza, unless something crazy happens, is going to be the Mets head coach or the Mets manager. Excuse me. We know Craig Counsell, unless something crazy happens, is going to be the manager of the Cubs. They just haven't had that quote unquote formal announcement yet. as Brent's doing 75 things at once. I love it. So yeah, give me your when we find out who the manager will be. Darnay has texted me his guess. I don't know if he's serious about that one, but he's already in the bag there. All right. Good luck, Darnay. Good luck there, buddy. Let's go to the text line here. 70470. Start your message with team. A lot of people are saying sometime next week. A lot of people are saying around Thanksgiving time, like Brent said. The 619 number says today at 6 p.m.
6:05.
6:01. That would, what would just be just the worst is if tomorrow, 6:01, all right, Aztecs just tipped off against BYU. They're 4-30 lifetime in Provo. Just kidding. Padres hired a new manager. Like, duh. Could we not have waited till I don't know, Saturday night?
That's the way it always goes, though. I remember when we used to do the 6:00 show with Ernie, and LeBron was hurt, and we spent like an hour talking about LeBron being hurt, and then at 7:01, they announced that, hey, LeBron's back and he's starting tonight.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So we're now in wait and see mode, and I'm gonna get envelopes like Darren did, but not really envelopes. I'm just gonna write them down on my computer. Everybody's guesses for when they think the announcement of when we find out who the next Padres manager will be. I'm in the bag for Monday. I got Darnay's. Brent says the 27th. I gotta get Darren and John's, but we'll find out.
YouTube chat says New Year's Day.
New Year's Day. 858 number says November 17th. And he says, sorry if I not addressed it, but why not Buck Showalter? How about not Buck Showalter? Do you know how bad that would be to have Buck Showalter, who accused Joe Musgrove of cheating, to be the next manager of this team? The dynamics there? Yeah, I don't think so. No, not happening. So give me your guess. When do you think the Padres are going to hire a manager? We've talked a lot about who we think they're going to hire, but it's about when they're going to hire. Because whoever they hire, to be honest with you, it's one of those things of the roster is more important. Now, if they hire Ryan Flaherty, I would not like that. But if they hired Schilt or Nevin or Benji Gill, I'd be on board with those three. Maybe Schilt to a lesser extent. Gill, I would be the most on board with. Nevin, I would feel kind of neutral about. I have to wait to see. But I hear good things about him. So it wouldn't be like the end of the world. Flaherty would feel like a kind of really? You're really going to just go?
That might feel like the end of the world for a day or two.
It might, but then it's okay, what are they going to do with Soto? Then you move very quickly to roster construction. Because to me, roster construction at this point in time with this team is more important. I thought the last time they needed a manager was extremely important because this clubhouse was in disarray. You could argue that this clubhouse has also been a little bit in disarray after this year with what happened with Manny Machado. But I don't feel like it's anywhere near like it was in 2021 after that season. It's still not great. But of the candidates they have, I feel comfortable with them coming in this situation, especially Benji Gill or Phil Nevin. So we'll see. But text me, 70470, if you want to put in a guess for when you think the Padres will hire a next manager. And I'll write those all down. All right, coming up next, a very special edition of Jim's Back Page. Stay tuned on Jon and Jim. All right, final stop here on Jon and Jim. It is your final chance on this show to help donate to the Wounded Warriors Foundation. Again, a couple ways to do that. warriorsfoundation.org. You can go there, or you can call. Very simple. People are waiting right now for your donations. Call 619-578-2615. Again, that's 619-578-2615. It's your last chance on this show to donate to the Wounded Warriors Foundation. But they'll be doing that throughout the rest of the night. So if you want to help a good cause, the Wounded Warriors Foundation, we talked to some warriors today. It's very impactful and it's very meaningful to a lot of people's lives and a lot of veterans' lives. And it makes a difference. So whatever donations that you could possibly make, whether it be $5, $10, $20, anything helps these wounded warriors. Okay, Brent. Let's get to the back page. All right, so I love to do auctions a lot on the back page because there's always some funky, weird auction items that are going for a crazy amount of money. I have 2 auction items today on the back page that I know Brent would appreciate, and I think these are 2 amazing auction items. All right, the first one is the original Val Kilmer's, Batman suit from Batman Forever in 1995. All right. The original suit. I guess it's titled the Panther suit.
Okay.
I don't know. It was auctioned today for guess how much money? The original Val Kilmer's Batman Panther suit from Batman Forever in 1995.
See, that's a rare suit, Jim, because that was the suit that director Joel Schumacher famously, for some reason, put nipples on it.
Yes, it did.
So for that, I'd say $500,000. If it's a full suit, right? Not just the cowl.
Oh, it's everything. Look at this thing.
Yeah, full suit.
Full suit,
I'd say
man.
at least $500,000.
It looks in really good condition too. Really good condition. The cowl's in good condition. The emblem, the Batman emblem.
I'd say just because it's, that suit's notorious for having the nipples on it. So I'd say $500,000 at least.
Well, you'd be really wrong. It only sold, not only, $101,000.
Oh, come on.
I know, right? I'm thinking to myself, dude, this is an iconic
Where's the Val
Batman
Kilmer
suit.
love? Come on.
It's probably not because it's not the original Batman suit, right? From the 1989 movie.
It's still better than Clooney's suit.
Anything's better than Clooney's suit. But I think $100,000 for the Batman Forever suit is fine. I think it should be more than that. I agree with you.
I think it should be more.
It's in pristine condition, and what you said there about the nipples.
Yeah,
that's an iconic look. You're never getting that anywhere else. And then the other auction item that got sold today is one of the hoverboards that was used by Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future 2 and 3 was sold today for how much, Brent?
It'll be a little more than $250,000.
You're closer this time. You're still off, but you're closer. One of the hoverboards that Michael J. Fox used in Back to the Future 2 and 3 sold today for $156,000. Would you buy which one would you buy, Brent? If you had unlimited money, the bat suit, bat
easily.
suit.
If I'm going to buy a Back to the Future piece of memorabilia,
and
I have unlimited funds, I'm gonna get either a DeLorean or I'm gonna get the Power Lace Nikes, which you can actually buy the Power Lace Nikes, but they're $7,000. They're $700.
They're ridiculous. And if I bought those, I would never want to wear them.
Or maybe the self-drying jacket was kind of cool that he had. Remember when he fell in the pond and then he just pushed that button and it dried his jacket for him?
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. But I'm with you. The shoes, I would love to have the shoes, but I never would want to wear them because I never want to get them dirty.
Yeah, but if you have unlimited funds, who cares? Buy 2 pairs and wear one and save one.
Brent, you're very smart, Brent. People Underappreciate you. You're very smart. I would. That's a good idea. All right, moving on. The Las Vegas Sphere, huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a huge talking point. It's been like almost something that you got to go to Vegas to see. I've seen it a couple times.
I think I know where you're going. I saw this the other day.
Yeah, it's not doing so great.
Oh, okay. That's not what I saw then.
What did you see?
To promote the Marvels, they put a Flurkin, the cat.
Yeah.
They put a Flurkin on the Sphere thing and just let the cat just look around for like 3 hours.
Well, they should put more on there because as of right now, the Las Vegas Sphere is reporting almost $100 million in loss. Their CFO just quit. Yeah, that's not good. It's probably not good when like nobody is paying to go there and they're just like looking at it from the outside. You need people to go inside. I know they had a couple concerts in there, but you need to have more things to generate more revenue.
Maybe some cheaper things too, because they had U2 in there, but like you practically had to be a Forbes millionaire to get in to afford tickets for it because it's super expensive.
True. You're absolutely right about that. And finally, Krispy Kreme announced plans to give a dozen donuts to the first 500 customers who visit participating U.S. locations on November 13th. No purchase necessary for Kindness Day. So if you want to get some Krispy Kreme donuts on Kindness Day, be the first 500 people to go to a Krispy Kreme to get 12 donuts there. I want to thank
We've officially run out of days.
I know.
If we're up to Kindness Day.
Kindness Day. Every day should be Kindness Day. Thank you to all our wounded warriors that joined us today. Again, warriorfoundation.org, 619-578-2615 to donate. Thank you all to you for joining today. We'll be back tomorrow on Jon and Jim right here on San Diego Sports 760.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two with our.
Thanks for the super chat, Murray. This was back when I was talking about LeBron. He said that's why he's a LaFraud. Yeah, I know. It's a little weird. It's a little condescending to have a museum built for you by you. But yeah, thanks for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.